Page number 12, right?
Page number, yes, 12.
Last
So
para.
everybody, we will be reading about a paragraph or two. We'll stop and see if there is any questions. Feel free to post any questions that you may have. Otherwise, what I think is essential is what I will try to explain. And then we'll proceed with the reading. And only one person reads throughout the session. So please post your questions if you have any. All right.
Applicable to parents and teachers alike, each temperament, when too strong and out of balance with other.
No, you have to go before that. As adults, we are all able to access.
Okay. As adults, we are all able to access these four temperaments or qualities or personality, but most of us display one or two temperaments predominantly. When this is true, we are out of balance, which can adversely affect others, especially our children. First one is choleric, blood, fiery, enthusiastic, willful, take charge. Phlegmatic, glands, watery, unruffled, sustaining. Melancholic, bones, earthy, sensitive, thoughtful, mull it over. Sanguine, nerves, airy, creative or artistic, spontaneous.
Okay, let's take a pause here. If you know about temperaments already, it will be a little easier. Else understand that we have four temperaments, which are choleric is the fire element, phlegmatic is the water element, melancholic is the earth element, sanguine the air element. These are the fundamental elements, the pancha koshas. There's also a fifth element, space. That we won't touch yet because that's not physical. These are physical qualities. You can associate choleric with blood, and it's also in our local language when we say, when I'm supremely angry, I say my blood is boiling. And that's typically a choleric quality, very fiery. At the same time, they're also very enthusiastic. They're strong-willed. They take charge and do things. But there is that fiery element also. They can burn bridges, hook or crook. They can get it done. They can spoil relationships with people. And they could be let down because of their arrogant, super ambitious qualities. So every temperament has two sides to it. And none is better than the other. Okay. So that is what I want you all to keep in mind. None is better than the other. So phlegmatic is the water element. So it's associated with all the glands in our system. Because it's fluid, watery, unruffled, unchanged, and it sustains life. Well, choleric is also essential for life. All of them are extremely essential. And melancholic is the earth element, typically associated with the bones of the skeletal structure, giving us the structure. Very earthy, sensitive, thoughtful, and mull it over kind of personality. Sanguine is the air element. Nerves, sensory inputs, impulsive kind of nature. Very airy, creative, artistic, and spontaneous kind of personality. And the previous paragraph, all of us can access all these four temperaments, because without any of these, my body will not exist as a human body. I have to have air to breathe in, out. I have to have all the glands, watery structures, stuff in my body. I have to have a bony structure. I have to have the blood. So all four of them exist. However, there are one or at the most two of the temperaments that are dominant in nature, right? So if I am the choleric kind, then I'm very, very ambitious, but I also have to my axis the phlegmatic element, melancholic element, and the sanguine element. So using those, I can manage the extreme nature of the choleric. Same thing with others. Yeah, keep that in mind. None is better than the other. Every temperament has two sides to it. It's polarities that exist. And we have access to all four. However, we have one or at the most two that are dominant in us. Okay. All right, continue.
Applicable to parents and teachers alike, each temperament, when too strong and out of balance with the other elements, can have a powerful effect upon children. The adult is in the power position. A controlling, a choleric teacher can cause children to appear melancholic. The children might have rebelled at first, but when they are continuously punished for their uncooperative behavior, and they are either sent from the home or classroom, they become withdrawn and appear to be melancholic, sad, or depressed. The phlegmatic parent is often consistent nurture but has a difficulty with the discipline because discipline takes effort and confrontation. This parent holds to routines out of comfortable habit, not in order to control.
Okay. So now we must understand the effect that we as adults or parents or a teacher have on children. So a controlling choleric teacher can cause children to appear melancholic. So child may not have been melancholic at all, but out of fear, because the teacher is super controlling. My way or highway, everybody shut up, would be the message that they would be giving to the children. And teacher is in control, the adult is in control. So the only option that child has as a powerless being at that point of time is to just shut up, appear sad or depressed, which could appear as a melancholic quality. So when we look at children, when we are analyzing children, and if you look at sad or depressed child, it need not be that it is their temperament. Typically, I tend to say, you know, under nobody's influence. You know, when you are on your own with complete freedom, the way we behave will give us an indication as to what temperament could be dominant in us. Otherwise, we are conditioned by the people around us. Similarly, he gives you the next example. The phlegmatic parent is often a consistent nurturer, you know, phlegmatic, water element. When you look at water, water could stay stagnant, stay stationary when it is put in a container, or even when it is in a pond. Unless there is fresh water coming constantly, water is moving, it tends to get stagnant, polluted, eventually unusable. Something like that happens with me as a phlegmatic person also. Somewhere there has to be constant inflow of fresh ideas, fresh motivation for me to keep reviving myself. Otherwise, I appear. Of course, I won't bother anybody. You know, this is a child who will sit on their own, teacher's favorite, parents' favorite, because they really don't cause anything. But they may not be doing what is necessary of them to do as well. Sometimes they may even not tell you that they have to go use the bathroom. Right? So then it becomes out of control. You know, we want phlegmatic element, but then I want you to also communicate with me. Tell me when it is required. You don't have to talk to me every day, every small thing, but essential, understand when it is important, right? So don't jump to conclusions. It takes a lot of observation, long time observation over months, and in different situations to kind of get an idea as to what could be the predominant temperament. All right. So there is one question. As per our reading, we have parents with those four temperaments. We need to respond according to their temperament. Here also, same things repeat, right? Like how we studied children temperament, now it's applicable to parents. Well, temperaments are part of us, every human being, whether you are a parent or a child. We are talking about parenting in this particular book. So we are talking about parents. Now, how my temperament, especially when it is not controlled or channeled properly, and that happens when I'm not aware of my own temperament, affects the children who are in my care. And how managing my temperament or being aware of my predominant temperament, especially when it is not in the balance, when it is not, the two polarities are not in check, and I go to one extreme or the other extreme, then because I'm an adult, because I'm in the position of some power over the children, I may not be influencing them right. All right. I hope I'm making sense.
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. All right, Seema, you can continue.
A melancholic parent or a teacher also has an imbalanced effect on children when every day he or she presents with the gloom and doom, a glass half empty attitude. No discussion will change this perspective, which lies like a great weight or a pall upon everyone. On the other hand, an out of control, sanguine nature can be equally frustrating because many projects get started but nothing is completed. Like at the Mad Hatter's tea party, one topic is started and before it is finished, a new one is begun. This behavior can create chaos, stress, and confusion in the family and classroom. A sanguine mother is always late for everything because she is too scattered and cannot prioritize. There is no ill will in this, but it still has a negative effect upon children.
Yeah. Yeah, this is something, he's covered all four temperaments here that we need to be understanding. When two people are together, the clash comes because we are having different predominant temperaments. Now, the very first he talks about a melancholic parent. When we say melancholic parent, we are not, if we mean that the melancholic parent is in balance, then it's okay. They still want this half glass empty attitude, it can still be a little better. Half glass is not good enough, that way. But a sanguine will say, oh, half glass, that's more than what I thought. And a phlegmatic will say, doesn't matter, half glass or full glass, I'm going to drink one sip anyway. And choleric will be like, how can I fill it up? What should I be doing to get me a full glass of water? So each of them will have a different perception about one single situation. And if we develop our attitude, this is where the space element comes in. If I take a step back and look at it in a different way, you are okay, sanguine is also okay, Choleric is also okay. Everybody has their perceptions, and we are all fine the way we are. If we leave it at that, then everything is beautiful. We can all coexist very beautifully. However, if melancholic will sit with his head down, oh my God, only half glass, and sanguine will be like, oh, cheer up, you have half glass. Then it's like, how do you understand? I mean, how can I cheer up? It's only half glass. And so there is this conversation that goes on. Oh my God, he's always worried. And this one is like, how can you be so happy? It's half glass only. And there are arguments and disagreements and all of that. So there is chaos. And how does it help when I understand my temperament? When I know that I'm a melancholic person, I know that I'm going to take everything with a pinch of dissatisfaction. And I make a resolution to myself. I always have that worrying attitude. But don't bother, it's okay, carry on. So you let go. And sanguine will say, yeah, I have this jumpy attitude. I'm impulsive, it doesn't really, I don't really worry until the glass is empty. And you are thinking about it. So it's good, and leave it at that. So in a team, there must be a colleague, for a company to be successful, for an organization to flourish, we must have a choleric who will lead ambitious project. There must be a melancholic person who's a worrier, who thinks about all the possible loopholes and consequences and alternates, plan A, plan B, plan C, they come up with it. That choleric will bank on. And there will be a phlegmatic who's a chill pill, just said, okay, tell me what I need to do and I will do it. We need somebody like that also. And we need, sanguines who are super creative, who have 100,000 ideas, they come up with lots, and melancholic will say, hey, shut up, no, don't get distracted. Slow down, we have taken 5 of your ideas, that's it, now work on that, So melancholic will balance out the sanguine's enthusiasm, and sanguine will cheer up melancholic with its enthusiasm. Now phlegmatic, the water element, will say choleric, calm down, you don't have to be that ambitious, because we may not be able to pull it through. And then choleric will say, come on, heat up, go faster, do better, So when they coexist that way, when that coexisting happens, only when we understand what is my temperament, how do I behave, not under the influence of society, not under the conditioning that we have gone through. That's something we have to work on separately. And I think there is a section where healing yourself is there. Yesterday we looked at it in the table of contents. But that part we'll deal later. Now it's only temperaments. Any questions so far? Am I confusing? If all okay.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yeah, go ahead.
Actually, I was thinking that if a parent is having a different temperament, and if the child is having a different temperament, how they can come to know, or like something, ma'am?
Yeah. All of us will have different temperaments. Okay, it's
Yeah,
not
ma'am.
that a child should have the same temperament as parent. And even when both parent and children have the same temperament, doesn't mean it's the best combination.
Okay.
But like we read earlier, you have access to all 4 temperaments, and the child also has access to all 4 temperaments. Okay. Right now, we'll look at only your temperament and where you have lost the balance. If you are, let's say you're predominant in phlegmatic, that's fine. As long as you don't become stagnant and you rot. like stagnant water, polluted stagnant water.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, because water has potential to dissolve everything, take in the problems of people and still maintain their stature. They also have ability to rush, to create those whirlpools, to create those waterfalls, so they can generate hydroelectric power. That's the potential in the water element. And also stagnate. Now, all we want to balance is don't tip to either extremes. The minute you see yourself stagnating, losing interest, waiting for somebody to motivate you, you want to like cheer yourself up in some way, because you tend to fall into stagnation mode because you are a phlegmatic. You keep company of choleric people. You seek out. It's not in your nature to seek out and make friends. But because we know our temperament, because I know that I don't seek out and I know that I may fall trapped to stagnate, I somehow latch on to a choleric personality. So somewhere they're so hyper and so ambitious, that will motivate me to manage myself. And that's why we are trying to understand temperament.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Yeah, ma'am. Thank you.
All right. Okay, continue.
Yeah, manifest in human beings living and working with others. These four temperaments are helpful at a different times and in response to different people or circumstances, and a reasonable person will draw on them appropriately. Steiner gave indication to teachers about how to work with the temperaments of children in their care. Likewise, how parents meet the temperament of the child can either help the child come into balance or compound the negative qualities. Sanguine should be able to develop love and attachment for one personality. The choleric should be able to develop esteem and respect for the accomplishments of their personality. The melancholic should be able to develop a heartfelt sympathy with another's destiny. The phlegmatic child should be led to share in the interest of others.
All right. Like in the paragraph above these 4 points, a reasonable person will draw on them appropriately. So draw on the temperaments appropriately, depending on the time, situation, place, age of the child, circumstance, etc., etc. So I want to become that reasonable person by understanding my own temperament. Now, how can first point, the sanguine, if I am predominantly, he's talking about one dominant character here, temperament. So the sanguine should be able to develop love and attachment for one personality. So air element, you imagine the air itself. You cannot hold the air in one place. Of course, we can condition it a little bit, put them in cylinders, liquefy them. Lots of additional processes have to be done. However, when they are exposed and come into the natural environment, they evaporate, and it's air. That is the personality of a person where air is dominant, a sanguine personality. They cannot attach. They cannot sit down and think for a long time, even if it is a child. So the child is, let's say, upset about having lost their favorite pencil in school. So sanguine mother will be, that's okay, we'll go get another one. But the child was attached to that pencil, and mother will not be able to understand that. So why do you cry about this little thing? That's okay, forget it. I'll give you 5 more pencils. No, I don't want 5 more. I want that only. But then the parent will get impatient about it. So now I need to develop that love and attachment for one personality, one meaning another person. In this context, it is a child. The choleric should be able to develop esteem and respect for accomplishments of the personality. So now, because choleric, the fire element, is a go-getter, very ambitious, may be jealous of another's personality, or maybe putting down. If I'm working with my child and my child has done a project, I'm like, no, that's not good enough. You didn't color that right. This is not the perfect drawing. I mean, who told you to do like this? Scrap it. Do another one. You have to get 10 on 10 tomorrow. Won't work for the child. That won't work for anybody for that matter. So I should be able to develop esteem and respect. Yeah, you have done it. That's a good job. Do you want me to help you make it better? It's okay. 10 on 10 is not an indicator of how much you have understood your subject. That respect. And typically, in Indian context, very few families you see adults having respect for their children. They love them, but somehow we want them to be in our control because we think they cannot decide on them. So shift that thing. And third, melancholic should be able to develop a heartfelt sympathy with another's destiny. Melancholics are the ones who are supremely nurturing. So they feel bad for every possible situation. Oh my God, you had to put so much effort in doing this project, but there is this problem in this. You have to tear it down. How much time will you spend? You have to go back and get all the materials. Oh my God, why did you come so late to me? You have made such a big project. How are we going to carry it to school tomorrow? It's always like this big long phase, and like the whole world is weighing them on them. Now they have to develop sympathy for another's destiny. I don't know this mystery. This child has come to me. I don't know the child's destiny. I don't know the purpose why this child is born, and the child is doing the best they can. Now, how can I help rather than dump my baggage over the child? That should be genuine and truthful. And I must develop that consciously. Though it is not going to be comfortable for me, I need to do that for the sake of child. And phlegmatic child should be led to share in the interest of others. Now, phlegmatic people generally don't bother anybody. Like I told you, they are everybody's favorite. But when it comes to work, let's say we have a team and they want to get some things done, and tomorrow is my annual day and everybody has to work, and phlegmatic will still be sitting there. It's okay. Do we really have to put up the banner? It's okay. They know this is our school. Why should we put up the school's banner there? Which is true to some extent. But to make them move up and work is hard. So now I need to share in the interest of others. I'm doing it because majority of the school wants the banner up. Majority of the schools want this decoration. So I need to take part in the interest of others. And this applies to both. If a child is phlegmatic, you need to partner them with someone so they help this other person do something a little better. So there is in the book that I shared on the group yesterday, there are lots of combinations that he gives, where how you can seat the children in the front, in the back, by the window. How do you pair them up? Lots of different scenarios he gives, and you can refer to that. Maybe we can read that also after we finish this book. However, understand that the temperament of the parent will have an impact on the child. And that's why I need to become that reasonable person by consciously developing balance in my own temperament, because I can access the other temperaments that are already in me. They may not be very dominant, like I'm typically a sanguine person. And it's so difficult for me to understand melancholics. Why are they worrying? Why should they worry? But then to become to build rapport with a melancholic person, I need to understand. I need to sit down with them. I need to share their burden and make myself sit. I cannot sit for more than 2 minutes, but now consciously I'm going to be sitting with them, tell them that I can spend 10 minutes with you and share that burden, so that I don't get depleted in the end, because I've set the time to 10 minutes, because melancholics can go on and on and on. I don't have that patience, but I don't have patience even for 2 minutes. I avoid such people. So I consciously come and sit with them, talk to them for 10 minutes, then I go my way. That is developing consciously, accessing the other temperaments that are within me already. All right. So we'll stop here for today. If anyone wants to share anything from yesterday or any question you have from today's discussion, feel free. Otherwise, we meet on Monday night.
Ma'am, Niraimati here.
Hi.
Hello.
Yes.
Hello. The way you are conducting the session is really good. I'm, benefiting a lot from this.
That's good.
I just have one query. Like, is it any way I could able to get any recording, or just the timing is not so suiting me?
Okay.
Is there
I
any
could,
way I could?
yeah, I could post the recording.
You can. Okay.
I'm recording
That's
the
it.
session, but recorded session, we'll have the recording started and all those things. But yeah, if you can work around it, I can post the recording. Not a problem.
Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah. Any questions? Anybody else? All right. Have a good weekend. Have a good night today. Thank you, Seema.
Thank you.
And we'll connect on Monday night.
Yes.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.